One man made £1 million in 24 hours. Then proved the entire global economy is built on a lie. June 18, 1815. Battle of Waterloo, happening right now. Napoleon versus Wellington. 300 miles away. London stock market crashing. Everyone selling. Pure terror. But one trader doing the opposite. David Ricardo. Buying everything. Why? Because he knows something nobody else does. His private messenger. Fastest horse. Already crossing the channel. Wellington wins. Napoleon crushed. But London doesn't know yet. Ricardo gets the news first. 24 hours before everyone else. Buys. While price is still low. Next morning, news breaks. Wellington won. Markets explode upward. Ricardo sells everything. £1 million profit in one day. 900 million in today's money. Richest man in England. But here's the twist. He retires. Age 42. Walks away from trading forever. Most men would buy estates, throw parties, live in luxury. Ricardo does something nobody expected. He disappears into his study. Starts reading economics, philosophy, mathematics. Why? Because he realized something, making that fortune. He didn't understand why he won. He predicted Wellington would win. But he couldn't explain the mathematical certainty he felt. Markets moved in patterns. But what caused the patterns? Why did prices rise and fall? What determined value? Nobody could answer these questions. Not the professors, not the politicians, not the other traders. So Ricardo decided to answer them himself. Born 1772. Amsterdam. Jewish family, father Abraham was stockbroker. Third child of 17. Yes, 17 children. Abraham taught young David the family business. Numbers, calculations, market movements. David absorbed everything. Natural genius with patterns. Age 14. Already working the exchange floor. Calculating faster than men twice his age. But age 21. Problem, falls in love. Priscilla Ann Wilkinson. Quaker woman. Different religion. Abraham, Ricardo, Orthodox Jew. Forbids the marriage. Choose family or the girl. David chooses love. 1823 marries her anyway. Father disowns him. Cuts him off completely. No money. No connections. No inheritance. Most men would crumble. David Ricardo saw it as liberation. No family expectations. No religious obligations. No predetermined path. Just him, his wife, and his mind. Age 25. Opens own trading firm. With borrowed capital. No safety net. Within 5 years. Rich. Within 10. Wealthy. Within 15. One of richest men in Britain. How? He saw what others missed. Most traders reacted to news. Ricardo predicted it. Calculated probabilities. Understood cause and effect. While others panicked, he calculated. While others guessed, he knew. But something bothered him. He was getting rich from a system he didn't fully understand. 1799. Age 27. On vacation. Picks up random book. The Wealth of Nations. Adam Smith. Published 1776. Reads it. Changes everything. Smith argued, markets had invisible hand. Self-regulating. Government interference harmful. Ricardo recognized truth in this, but also saw gaps. Questions Smith didn't answer. What determines prices exactly? Why do wages differ? How does international trade really work? Started writing. Letters to newspapers. Anonymous at first. About currency. Inflation. Value. People noticed. Analysis too sharp. Predictions too accurate. Who was this mystery economist? 1809. Reveals himself. David Ricardo. The stock trader. Academic economists shocked. He's not one of them. No Oxford degree. No Cambridge credentials. Self-taught outsider. But he was better than all of them. And they knew it. His first major contribution. The quantity theory of money. Argued too much currency causes inflation. Government printing money reduces its value. Sounds obvious now. Revolutionary then. Britain had just suspended gold standard during Napoleonic Wars. Printing money to fund military. Prices rising. Everyone confused why. Ricardo explained it simply, clearly, mathematically. More money chasing same goods equals higher prices. Basic supply and demand applied to currency itself. Parliament invited him to testify. Politicians hated his conclusion. Meant they couldn't print unlimited money. But they couldn't argue with his logic. Or his math. Or his track record. Then came Waterloo. The trade that made him legendary. June 1815. Napoleon escaped Elba. Raising new army. Europe terrified. British stock market panicking. Prices collapsing. Everyone selling everything. Ricardo analyzed. Mathematically, emotionally detached. British Army stronger, better funded, better lead. Wellington superior general. Probability of British victory, extremely high, but markets priced in British defeat. Fear overwhelming logic. Gap between mathematical probability and market price. That's opportunity. Ricardo bets everything. Not on Wellington. On mathematics. Had network of messengers ready. Fastest horses. Shortest route. Fresh mounts at every stop. Battle lasted 1 day. His messenger took 1 day to return. News reached him 24 hours before reaching London. Used that time. Bought everything at panic prices. Next day, news broke. Wellington won. Markets soared. Ricardo sold. Walked away with fortune. But here's what people miss about this story. He didn't get lucky. He calculated, prepared, executed, and he felt nothing. No excitement, no fear, just mathematics. That's when he knew. He had to understand why. Why did markets work this way? Why did fear override logic? Why did information create such power? So he retired, age 42, never traded again, devoted himself to economics, to understanding the system that made him rich. 1817, publishes his book, Principles of Political Economy and Taxation. This book changed everything, created modern economics. But what did it actually say? 2 major theories. Both revolutionized economics. Both have massive problems nobody talks about. First theory, comparative advantage. Here's the example Ricardo used. England and Portugal both make cloth and wine. England makes cloth cheaper than Portugal. Makes wine cheaper too. Better at both. Traditional thinking says England should make both. Portugal makes neither. England wins everything. But Ricardo proved this wrong. Even if England better at both, should still specialize. Why? Because opportunity cost. Every hour making wine is hour not making cloth. England's advantage bigger in cloth than wine. So England makes only cloth. Portugal makes only wine. They trade, both end up with more cloth and wine than if they tried making both. This is comparative advantage. Specialize in what you're relatively best at. Trade for the rest. Brilliant, right? Changed how world thinks about trade. Every free trade agreement since, based on this theory. Every economist teaches it. Every politician quotes it. But here's the problem nobody mentions. Ricardo's theory has one critical assumption. He wrote it clearly. Most people skip over it. Quote, I assume capital is immovable between nations. Capital can't flow across borders. Factories can't relocate. Investment stays home. That was true in 1817. Not true today. Today, capital moves instantly. Factories relocate constantly. Investment flows everywhere. When capital mobile, everything changes. American factory doesn't specialize in different products. It just moves to China. Same product, lower wages. That's not comparative advantage. That's wage arbitrage. Completely different thing. Comparative advantage says trade what you're good at. Wage arbitrage says move production where it's cheapest. England's supposed to make cloth because skilled at it. But if English factory moves to Portugal for cheaper labor, that's not specialization. That's relocation. Ricardo's beautiful theory only works in worlds that no longer exists. But economists still teach it. Politicians still quote it. Trade deals still reference it. They just ignore the assumption. Pretend capital's still immovable. Pretend it's still 1817. Why? Because admitting Ricardo wrong means questioning free trade. And free trade is religion in economics. Can't question it. Can't doubt it. Can't suggest limits. But reality doesn't care about economic religion. China understood this. Used Ricardo's theory against the West. Specialized in manufacturing. But not because naturally better at it. Because moved capital. Built factories. Subsidized industries. Exactly what Ricardo said wouldn't happen. And it worked. For them, West still playing by Ricardo's rules. China isn't. Now, Ricardo's second theory. Labor theory of value. Product's value comes from labor used to make it. More work equals more value. Simple. Logical. Completely wrong. Diamond takes little labor to find. Worth fortune. Water takes little labor to collect. Worth almost nothing. But water keeps you alive. Diamond, just pretty rock. Labor doesn't determine value. Scarcity and demand do. Ricardo knew this was problem. Spent chapters trying to fix it. Never could. But here's where it gets interesting. Karl Marx read Ricardo. Loved the labor theory. Built entire communism on it. If labor creates all value, then workers should get all value, not factory owners, not capitalists. That's literally Marx's argument. Straight from Ricardo. Ricardo accidentally gave Marx his best weapon. So let's recap. Richest trader in England, retires to study economics, writes one book, creates two major theories. Theory 1, only works if capital can't move. It can. Theory doesn't work. Theory 2, labor creates value. It doesn't. Theory is wrong. Also accidentally created communism. This is foundation of modern economics. But wait, gets even better. Ricardo didn't just write theory, he tested it. In Parliament. 1819. Elected to House of Commons. Bought the seat, actually. Legal then. Used position to push economic reforms. Based on his theories. Fought for workers' rights. Higher wages. Better conditions. Opposed corn laws. Tariffs. Protecting wealthy landowners. Hurting poor consumers. Argued for free trade. Lower prices. More competition. Better for everyone. And you know what happened? He was right. About the corn laws anyway. Repealed 1846. Prices dropped. Living standards rose. Trade expanded. Vindication. Ricardo's free trade arguments worked. But here's the thing. Those were different times. Britain was industrial superpower. Most advanced economy. Highest productivity. Free trade helped Britain then. Dominated global markets. Sold manufactured goods to everyone. Today, different situation entirely. China is manufacturing superpower. America lost industrial base. Factories gone overseas. Free trade helping China now. Same way it helped Britain then. But Ricardo's arguments still used to justify it. As if circumstances haven't changed. That's the problem with economic theory. Becomes dogma. Can't update. Can't adapt. Ricardo himself wasn't dogmatic. Evidence-based, practical. He saw problems with his own theories. Wrote about limitations. Tried to fix them. But his followers turned theories into religion. Modern economists worship Ricardo. Can't question him. Can't suggest his theories outdated. Even though Ricardo would want them to. He questioned everything else. Questioned Adam Smith. Questioned conventional wisdom. Questioned his own assumptions. That was his genius. Not the theories themselves. The willingness to challenge. He died young. 1823. Age 51. Ear infection turned fatal. Left behind widow. 8 children. Massive fortune. One revolutionary book. His economic theories dominated for centuries. Still taught today. Still shape policy. But here's what most people don't know about Ricardo. He was conflicted. About his own wealth. About capitalism. About inequality. Wrote that landlords earned rent without working. Called it economic parasitism. Argued workers deserved more. Capitalists less. Despite being capitalist himself, saw contradictions in system. Tried to fix them mathematically. Couldn't. Because mathematics can't fix moral problems. Can't solve inequality through equations. That's limitation of economics. Treats humans like numbers. Society like machine. Ricardo understood this. Better than modern economists do. He knew his theories were models. Simplifications. Not reality. But useful simplifications. Helped understand complex systems. Made better decisions. Problem is, when models become doctrine, when simplifications become truth, when theories become unchangeable. That's what happened to Ricardo's work. Comparative advantage became justification for unlimited free trade. Even when assumptions don't hold. Labor theory became weapon against capitalism. Even though theory is wrong. Both used for purposes Ricardo never intended. So what's the real lesson here? David Ricardo was genius. Revolutionary thinker. Changed economics forever. But he was human. His theories incomplete. His assumptions outdated. That's not criticism. That's reality. Science progresses by updating theories. Physics updated Newton. Biology updated Darwin. But economics? Still teaching Ricardo like gospel. Still using 1817 assumptions for 2024 problems. Why? Because updating Ricardo means questioning power. Every trade deal benefits someone. Usually not you. Ricardo gives them theory to justify it. Every outsourcing decision enriches someone. Usually not workers. Comparative advantage makes it sound inevitable. But it's not. Ricardo's assumptions don't hold. His theory doesn't apply. We could choose different policies. Protect industries. Limit capital flows. Help workers. But that's not allowed. Because Ricardo said free trade, always good. Except he didn't. He said free trade good, under specific assumptions. Assumptions that no longer exist. The man who made millions beating the market, who revolutionized economics, who questioned everything. His legacy twisted, his nuance lost, his theories weaponized. That's tragedy of David Ricardo. Not that his theories were wrong, that people stopped questioning them. If this made you rethink everything you learned in economics class, good, that's the point. Hit subscribe, because everything else they taught you probably needs questioning too. Economics isn't truth, it's models, theories, assumptions. And when assumptions change, theories should too. Ricardo would agree. His followers won't.